Welcome back. Let's talk about what's inside the Earth. Now we know kind of how the Earth formed, nebular theory, planetary accretion, all of this occurring about 4.54 billion years ago. So what's on the inside? Let's take a journey, shall we? So the process of what kind of happened on the inside is called differentiation. That's the layering of the terrestrial rocky planets based on chemical composition. Meaning, heavier stuff sank to the middle of the planet. There's no bottom. It sank to the middle. The lighter stuff stayed on the outside. Heavier chemical composition stuff sank to the middle. Lighter stuff on the outside. So the crust is the outermost layer of the Earth. That's going to be the thin, low density, rocky, solid, lighter stuff. Yes, this stuff, the ground, mountains, all that business, this is the lighter stuff. The heavier stuff, the more dense stuff, that's down in the center of the Earth. Rocks, the lightest of what Earth is made out of. Isn't that bananas? That's crazy. So, but that thin layer, it's like a thin candy shell on M&M, is called the crust. Very thin, low density, lighter, and rocky, and it's solid, right? The crust of the Earth is, let me check. Yep, it's solid. Just below the crust, we have the mantle. This is kind of the middle compositional layer. It's rocky and mostly solid and kind of an intermediate density, just a little bit more heavier stuff, a little more dense material. So the mantle is kind of like, think of hot Play-Doh mixed with rocks. It's mostly solid. Play-Doh is a solid, right? Play-Doh, do I got some Play-Doh here? Let's see here. You know, Play-Doh, that's a solid, but, you know, Play-Doh mixed with a bunch of rocks. So it kind of moves a little bit, but for the most part, it's mostly solid. Kind of an intermediate density heaviness. And then we have the core, which is comprised of two layers. We have the outer core, and which is a high density, heavy, and metallic metal, but it's liquid. And then we have the inner core, which is high density, heavy, metallic, metal, but solid. So kind of going back out, we have a solid metal core of Earth. It's mostly iron and nickel, some other stuff. We have an outer core that's kind of the same stuff, nickel and iron, but liquid. Ooh, interesting. Then we have the mantle, which is mostly solid. Think rock, think hot Play-Doh mixed with rocks. There's some movement to it, but it's mostly solid. And then the thin, lighter material, the rocky outer crust. Other planets in the solar system exhibit differentiation as well. Maybe not the same layers, not the same material, but they're also differentiated as well. So here you go. All right, here you go. So you got that thin crust, just a very thin little, just a thin little layer. Everything that we exist on and we know of has existed on this thin little layer. Below we have the mantle, which makes up the biggest volume of Earth. Again, mostly solid. Then the liquid metallic outer core and the solid inner core. So that's on the inside. How do we know that's on the inside? Well, that's for a little bit different unit. But this section is actually done. Just a brief introduction on what's in there. We'll expand on more of this stuff, composition, what these layers do, as we talk about them in reference to earthquakes and volcanoes and things like that. But before we move on, or before we stop, I want to discuss with you something called the super secret code. So every week, you're required to watch these videos. Afterwards, you are assigned a question. Oh, pardon me. You're assigned a question based on this lecture or an assignment afterwards. And to access these things, you may need the super secret code, what I'm about to tell you. Typically, it's a series of numbers. It can be from a few numbers up to a bunch of numbers. And you need this code to put in to access the next thing. Some students find this annoying. Some students absolutely love this. The reason I do this weird super secret code thing is it forces you to be kind of honest in making sure that you're watching and paying attention to the videos. I have no other way of that occurring other than something like this. So the way to keep everyone honest is throughout the videos, I may give you a super secret code. I may give it all to you in one video. I may spread numbers throughout the different videos for a particular unit and just kind of put them all together, and that's the code. I might tell you to do something with those numbers, alter those numbers, forget some numbers, add some numbers as the videos go on. Again, it's just a way to ensure that you're paying attention to the videos, watching them, which is what you should be doing. Because when it comes time to class time, you deserve to work with individuals in your groups that have put in the same effort as you. If you're surrounded by a bunch of people that didn't watch the lectures, well, that's going to hurt you, and that's going to hurt you and your group. You don't deserve that. So to try and keep everyone honest, I've implemented this super secret code. It's the best I can come up with. Again, some people love it because they know how it keeps them and others in their group on point, on task. Some people hate it. Those people are called slackers and are just looking for the easy way out. You're required to watch these videos regardless. All right? So this super secret code just kind of becomes secondary, just something you need to jot down as I'm talking about it in a video or videos. All right. So for those of you doing your work and doing what you're supposed to do, this isn't a big deal. For those of you that know are going to slack throughout the semester, you're going to hate this. Hey, it's a way to keep you honest. You don't deserve to be with a group who's working hard and who did their work when you didn't do your work. So watch and listen to these videos. Sometimes I won't even say the super secret code. I'll hold up like a little board with the numbers on it just to see if you're paying attention. Who knows? But in any case, this week's super secret code is 1111. One more time, 1111. So 4 ones in a row. Please do not give that super secret code to anyone. I will find out. I have a way of seeing who does what in Canvas. And if I'm seeing that someone's not watching the lectures, but yet still got the code to answer questions and do other things, well, that's a bit curious. I will find out. The person who got the code and who also gave the code will be in trouble. Please don't do that. Again, this is just a way of keeping you honest and making sure everyone in your group is doing what they're supposed to do. You deserve that. That's why we have these. So again, the code, super secret code is 1111. So that's where we're going to stop this video. When we come back, we'll talk about the different systems that are in place on planet Earth. And I guess within planet Earth. I'll see you back here in just a second.